They are still our slaves. This is an article found in the New York Post said to be written by a white man. We can reap profits from the blacks without the effort of physical slavery. Look at the current methods of containment they use on themselves: ignorance, greed and selfishness. Their ignorance is the primary weapon of containment. A great man once said, "The best way to hide something from black people is to put it in a book." We now live in the information age. They have gained the opportunity to read any book on any subject through the efforts of their fight for freedom, yet they refuse to read. There are numerous books readily available at Borders, Barnes and Nobles and Amazon.com. Not to mention their own black bookstores that provide solid blueprints to reach economic equality, which should have been their fight all along, but few read constantly if at all. Greed is another powerful weapon of containment. Blacks since the abolishing of slavery have had large amounts of money at their disposal. Last year they spent $10 billion during Christmas out of their $450 billion and total yearly income, 2.22%. Any of us can use them as our target for market. For any business venture we care to dream up, no matter how outlandish, they will buy into it. Being primarily a consumer people, they function totally off of greed. They continuously want more with little thought for saving and investing. They would rather buy some new sneakers than invest in starting a business. Some even neglect their children to have the latest Tommy or Fubu, and they still think that having a Mercedes and big house gives them status or that they have achieved the American dream. They are fools. The vast majority of their people are still in poverty because their greed holds them back from collectively making better communities. With the help of BET and the rest of their black media that often broadcast destructive images into their own homes, we will continue to see huge profits like those of Tommy and Nike. Tommy Hilfiger has even geared them, saying he doesn't want their money, and look at how the fools spend more with him than ever before. They will continue to show off to each other while we build solid communities with the profit from our business that we market to them. Selfishness ingrained in their minds through slavery is one of the major ways we can continue to contain them. One of their own, Du Bois, said that there was an intimate division in their culture, a talented tent he called it. He was correct in his deduction that there are some segments of their culture that has achieved some form of success. However, that segment missed the fullness of his work. They did not read the talented tenth was then responsible for aiding the untalented 90% in achieving a better life. Instead, that segment has created another class, a buppy class that looks down on their own people or aids them in a condescending manner. They would never achieve what we have. Their selfishness does not allow them to be able to work together on any project or endeavor of substance. When they do get together, their selfishness lets their ego get in the way of their goals. Their so-called health organizations seem to only want to promote their name without making any real changes in their communities. They are content to sit in conferences and conventions in our hotels and talk about what they would do while their award plagues to the best speakers, not the best doers. Is there no end to their selfishness? They steadfastly refuse to see that together they achieve more. They do not understand that they are no better than each other of what they own. In fact, most of those buppies are but 1 or 2 paychecks away from poverty. All of which is under the control of our pens in our offices and our rooms. Yes, we will continue to contain them as long as they refuse to read, continue to buy anything they want, and keep thinking they are helping their communities by paying dues to organizations which do little other than hold lavish conventions in our hotels. By the way, don't worry about any of them reading this letter. Remember, they don't read.
Watch them closely, for they will steal. The words have no bond, and it's easy to reveal all the hidden truths that lie beneath the clothes are now out and open, revealed, and exposed. Are you afraid that people see through? Cause clothes cover up the real identity of you. Now that everything is hanging out to see, let me teach you how to watch them as easy as 1, 2, 3. Highlight the insecurities and the fears, and don't leave out the ones that you caused for years. When you left them abandoned and you took them for granted, so they show a lack of attention, and now you can't stand it. They got you to believe and not to think for yourself, and invisible men and biblical books on a shelf. So watch them closely and believe they're watching you too. Judge the whole book and judge the cover too. Watch them closely.